Good evening. In this video, we are going to discuss the impact of COVID-19 and post-pandemic leadership. Before starting, I would like to mention that as COVID-19 is new to our economy, so my research depends upon various studies or the researches done by the most eminent economists in this world. In starting, I would like to ask you certain questions. Where are we? And where we find ourselves post-pandemic. Try and measure what will going to remain post-COVID. Going to be more worsened than World War II. I think it's time to blow the dust of traditional economics. Otherwise, by time we will going to dig the hole. It is for sure that the world is not going to be same post-pandemic. In fact, it should not be. If we forgot to learn the lesson from this pandemic, it will going to again happen in any other form of catastrophe. It makes us learn that life costs very little than what we spend on it. How it going to sustain with the limited resources which are we going to significantly fail. Everybody now feeling the agitation as of incompetency to manufacture PPE in any other or in their own country and have to depend on the countries like China. As it is shown in this slide, that world economy is going to be shrink by 1%, which is a reversal from the previous study of 2.5% growth in economy. DISA commented that COVID-19 pandemic is going to affect the supply chain management very hugely. The movement of people, cash flow, tourism are at complete halt. In India, certain manufacturing is still there, but it's a huge challenge for the whole world. When the pandemic will end, what will be going to be the people mindset? What will be the state of economy 2 months post now or 3 months from now? Are millions of people going to lose their jobs? Whether the economic crisis will be more bigger than the recession of 2008? As shown in this slide, that before pandemic, the world output was expected at a modest pace of 2.5% in 2020. Taking into account rapidly changing economic condition, the UNDISA has estimated best and worst case scenarios. In the best case scenario, with moderate decline in the private consumption, investment and exports, and offsetting increases in government spending in G7 countries, global growth would fall to 1.2% in 2020. While in the worst case, the global output would contract to 0.9%. In India, the pandemic affected various sectors. There will be a gloomy future of traveling, tourism and aviation industry, which is nearly contributed 30% of Indian economy. In global economy, the inflation rate is the lowest. The interest rate offering by the bank is also the lowest, while in India, it's still 6% per annum, which is very much high. Then why not anybody will take an advantage of the arbitrage situation? In time, India needs to open and allow the deficit financing so that foreign investors can make move towards India. Whole world is facing an anti-China sentiment. India, by not showing its overconfidence that after China automatically every company or every country will invest in India, India needs to show itself a friendly destination by relaxing its treaties with the other countries, other nations in the world. Now, the major hit sectors in the present condition are raw materials, spare parts, pharmaceutical industry, construction services, IT sectors, transportation and hospitality, etc. Nearly 55% of electronics spares are imported by India, originated by China. These imports are already fallen down, while on the other side there is a huge decrease in an export as well. 40% of our export is related to China, which apparently decreases due to this pandemic. The toll of pharmaceutical industry is a matter of high concern now. Mainly 70% of API are imported from China only, which is largely used by these pharmaceutical industries, these manufacturing companies. As per COVID-19 is rapidly making its way, the medication cost going to be the number one consumer's demand because they are not enough, which causes a skyrocketing price hike in this near future. The price of the vitamins and penicillin are already increases by 50%. Service sector is again greatly impacted by COVID-19. Tourism, aviation, construction sector, IT, service sector, etc. together contribute $85 million in the economy, which nearly about 30% of the economy. But due to the COVID-19, there is a huge loss not only to economy but in the employment sector as well. There is an estimate of a lost job of 70% all over the world. Due to the tourism, there is a loss to the hospitality sectors too. Hotels, restaurants, etc. are highly affected. I don't think after lockdown period over, the hospitality sector advanced, but rather home delivery system will going to be pick up. Services to the manufacturing industry is nowadays also important. Suppose in the case of manufacturing of a washing machine, manufacturing required new technology too. Without the advent of the technology, washing machine manufacturing can't be done. Hence, here the question of 70-30% contribution to the economy is not mattering. Here, the advent of new technology is next most important task for India as well as the whole world economy. Moving further to the most important part of our discussion, what or who become post-pandemic a world leader? To start with, I would like to ask, or rather than to say, to discuss two important aspects. Firstly, how to make India a global economy to achieve our target of 5 trillion economy after lockdown period over. And secondly, what role IT played in this situation. Moving further to the in this slide, I have highlighted the following points which is helping the India to jumpstart the post-COVID-19. Firstly, try to reduce the interest rate for the loans by bank. Reduce the repo rate. Take an advantage of anti-China sentiments. Next, government should pump more liquidity into economy. We can even turn the agriculture into a great business. Stimulus packages should be issued to the different sectors. I am going to discuss the above points in detail with you all. Try to understand that what is happening outside India. Now that inflation rate is at its lowest, the interest rate is lowest, the people outside India get an advantage to earn an arbitrage profit in a great manner. As you all know, the oil prices are at its lowest, so it's time for India to take an advantage of this situation rather than playing defensive. Moving further, I would like to ask you a question. Whether India wants to learn from its past mistake, from its past course of action, as if till now, if India wants to restart, then Indian thinking needs to be changed. The Indian sentiments, the Indian mentality needs to be changed. In this condition, our PM takes such an action that whole country become one community. Work together, trust each other. Post-pandemic also, we have to continue this situation. We have to trust each other. The government needs to take an action so that others and itself government put the trust in the people. Today, India's GDP is lower in comparison to the Southeast Asian countries as well as the African countries. We are all there. We know that there are certain corruptions in Indian economy, in the banking sector as well as other sectors. We have to take such corrective actions after learning from our mistake, from our past. We have to tap the restart button now to boost our economy. Certain measures can be taken by the Indian government, like extending the time limits of the return, not levying interest for delay payment of tax, by not making our banking sector or the banking laws more stringent. As of these stringent laws, the banks nowadays only want to lend the money to the big industries, which is right now is very much devastating. Due to the downfall of the NBFCs, the real estate, MSME, various small caps falling down, it's a time for the Indian government to print the money and put that money into the Indian economy. This is a time to show that world India as a global leader by relaxing its treaty, allowing the deficit funding, allowing the foreign investors by reducing the taxes over the foreign investors, like what Vietnam offers. Just to attract the foreign investor, it reduces its tax rate to 12% instead of 24%, so that the forex can flow into its economy. India needs to remember from his history how the government merchant moved towards Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Vietnam, and even Pakistan. As India didn't relax its regulation, its policies never allowed the tax benefit to the garment merchants which were investing in 1970 or 1980. At that time, they moved towards Bangladesh, Vietnam, Pakistan, and now it is showing that Bangladesh, Vietnam are having much better conditions than India in the garment sector. It's time to learn from Japan and Europe that how they become a superpower in just 40 years after World War II. In 1947, India, Japan, China has the same GDP, but now China becomes 11.75 trillion economy, which is 5 times the Indian economy. It's time for India to take a bold move, reduces its repo rate, and even make agriculture a business by allowing the private sectors to invest in it, so that the farmers get their remuneration, get their rewards within the time, and there is no requirement of the brokerage ever emerge. Now I want to draw your attention toward the 7 tax sutras that should be incorporated to make India a global economy. Firstly, abolish the revenue targets for the financial year 2021. It's a time to think about to regain the productivity, to regain the demand supply ratio, rather than thinking about revenue by the taxation authorities. If one cannot regain its demand supply, the question of revenue, the question of profit will not arise, and hence one will not be able to pay the taxation. Secondly, tax is always a byproduct of the growth. That is, only 2% of manufacturing in a country cannot boost its economy by 16%. Like manufacturing industry are at their sluggish. Take an example of Vodafone case. Despite making a huge various retrospective amendments in the taxation laws, the government of India is not able to recover a penny of tax, a penny of amount from it. Moving towards provision of income tax should not be of revenue generation objective, as we are all agree in this point of time that in the month of February 2020, there were many cases which were reopened regarding assessments, transfer pricing, which were just reopened with the sole motive to earn the revenue targets. Such should not be done for at least these 2 financial years. Moving forward, there is a necessity to create a benchmark in the taxation system of India by making a policy by relaxing certain policies, certain tax laws on the NR, foreign investors, India can attract those foreign companies which want to remove its base, its factories, its company from China. We can learn from our past mistake which happened at the time of not allowing the garment merchant to India, and they moved towards Vietnam and Malaysia, which I already discussed in my earlier discussion. Next, there is an urgent need of the long-term fiscal policies, taxation laws, regulations which will going to prevail in these 2 financial years, there is a need to ease certain tax laws like equalization levy reduction, NR tax laws amendments. It's a time to attract the foreign investment, not to move away from them. Moving towards GST, which is now become for a normal person very tough to understand due to the prevailing various rates like 5% for one product, 18% for another. It's better to change it into one rate and allowing the input on all the products to make it a simplified version. It's time to urgently abolish the e-way bill system, as right now in India the present condition is such that there are numerous red zone, orange zone, green zone which will reopen phase by phase. So it become very tough job for a dealer, transporter, retailer to move its product or services from one city to another, one district to another within a state. In this regard, also I would like to highlight that it's a time to ease the export as well. The exporter who prepare its finished products after importing raw material needs to pay the import duty first, and after exporting the finished goods he is able to take in the claim. He is able to claim the refund of import duty. It become a harder rule over that exporter due to the lack of cash flow right now. Lastly, the taxation system should be fair enough. There should be a relaxation in the laws of section 43B, transfer pricing, e-commerce need to be given. Moving forward to the role of IT in the present scenario, I would like to mention two perspectives: impact on technology and impact of technology. COVID-19 also impacted technology at a larger rate. IT sector also loses its various of clients due to the sluggishness in the economy all over the world. On the other side, it is technology which paved our way in this critical condition, which allow 95% of population related to the job sector to fulfill their duty by work from home mode. Speaking of which, I would like to draw your attention towards our justice and legal system. Even the Apex Court of India is also holding court proceedings over video conferencing. The culture of video meetings is not there in our Indian society that much, but even now, for maintaining social distancing, the video meetings, the virtual proceedings are adopted by our High Court and Apex Court. But there are certain problems in holding meetings, proceedings in the lower court of district and magistrate. So there is a need of CIT to be established for each and every department so that this virtual meeting proceedings culture even got flourished. In our discussion, I would like to highlight what Churchill once said: it is worsen to lose a good crisis. It's a time for Indian economy to take the advantage of this situation, to combat, to start up its economy once again. Government of India needs to take certain measures. Firstly, a stimulus package of at least 10% of GDP need to be allowed, like US and UK, so that the cash flow inducted into the economy. This can be done by the banks or via public company undertakings by allowing them to invest into various projects. a demand creation need to be done so that most of the people don't lose their job. Infuse money to the bank so that they can start to lend the money to the small caps, MSMEs. Repo rate should be reduced by the RBI. Credit guarantee scheme should be introduced by the government of India so that bank will attract towards the small caps or MSME by providing the additional funding to them. 6 months septical given to the NCLT so that it can't enforce insolvency to the small industries due to the lack of cash flow, which is a major problem right now. Thank you for hearing me, for getting such other videos of the measures that should be taken by the government. Please subscribe us and tap the bell button right below. Thank you all.